Welcome to the weekly Pick and Pack, the podcast about all things inventory. Pick and Pack, powered by Fishbowl.
All right, welcome to the weekly Pick and Pack. This is episode 4. My name is Nate Flake.
And I'm Nate Fulmer.
And we have a awesome guest today. So we are talking about digital marketing. So I'll let you introduce yourself and give us a little bit of bio.
Yeah, so my name is George Nilsson. I'm our digital marketing manager. So what that means is I help manage some of our content creation, our SEO, which is search engine optimization, being found on Google. Mm-hmm. And then I manage some of our paid ads.
Sweet.
Because we advertise on Google and Bing, so I manage our Bing budget.
Is that still a thing, Bing?
It is, actually.
I was going to ask about Yahoo. Is Yahoo still a thing? Can you do Yahoo search?
Yahoo's like part of Bing. Like they have an agreement so that the ads show on their network as well.
Gotcha.
So it's not nearly the size of Google, but there are people that search on Bing.
Well, it's still, I'm pretty sure it's ingrained in the Internet Explorer, right? Or maybe it's not. I don't know. I just know it's a Microsoft product.
Well, I mean,
maybe it is actually.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it shows across all browsers, but Microsoft still they have a presence for sure.
There you go.
So,
give a little bio on yourself.
Yeah.
How long you've been here.
So I've been at Fishbowl for 5 years total. Then I've been in, digital marketing for about 10 years now. So I started out working for my dad. He was an attorney, and he told me to help him find more clients and fill his office suites. So I was like, okay, all right. I don't want you to fail and go bankrupt, so I'll do my best, Dad. So that's how I kind of got into it. And
Family business is riding on you, son.
Yeah, there were like good and bad things about it, but that was my start. And then then Fishbowl was soon after that, and then I had a 2-year stint where I did digital marketing for the company's Thomson Reuters. They do marketing for attorneys. So the find law directories, or if you do a search for attorneys, their directory will come up.
Oh, cool.
So I managed a book of like 30 attorney accounts where I managed their paid ads, did SEO for them. And then I've done some freelance on the side. So that's where I've seen some other industries like hospitality, real estate agents, kind of seeing different kind of markets, I guess. So,
yeah, that's awesome. Sweet. So we're going to give a little bit of kind of a overview, I guess, of what we're going to talk about today. Building an online presence, SEO, PPC, how to even get started. So if you're an SMB, it's kind of daunting to someone. We've talked about this in a couple episodes, like starting new processes, PPC and SEO being one of them. So kind of through this episode, we're going to talk a little bit about kind of what that means, and George is going to kind of give us the lay of the land and where to start. So
SEO, search engine optimization. Mm-hmm. What's PPC?
That's pay-per-click.
PPC.
Yeah, so if you do a search for something in Google.
I don't know. I said PCC. I'm going to put that on myself. I don't know what you said.
Yeah, if you were to do a Google search right now, so the top results, you'll see a little kind of like ad-sponsored text there.
Yeah.
The top maybe 4 results. Mm-hmm. Then on the right side, you can also see ads. And then the organic ones, people don't pay for those. You just want to rank, which is the SEO of how do I create content that Google likes. So I'm in the top 10.
Yeah.
And so is it Google that chooses those? It's like, we like this one, or is it like those are the clicks?
Oh, Google is. Oh, as for the pay-per-click, the paid ads?
No, just the top search engine result that's not an ad.
Well, those.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, Google has criteria they like.
Okay.
So that's what people like me are always trying to crack. Like, what do they like
What's
now?
The code?
And they've made changes over the years. And their algorithm has gotten more sophisticated. So it's quite the chess match.
Okay.
But ultimately, Google wants to provide the best results for users, so they keep coming back, so they keep having more potential people that can click on their ads. So they're going after users, so we are too, as far as the user experience. But there's also some little technical things that we know Google likes that we try to do, and that's the optimization part.
Got it.
To really give them what they like, even though Google doesn't say do this. It's like, well, you're ranking 10 sites and they're all doing this, so we know you want that.
Got it. That makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. Before we get into that, let's talk about what kind of the last week. So we were going to try to do episode 4 at QB Connect. So we just got back from QB Connect. For those of you,
shut down.
I know they shut us down hard. So California, man. we had a mic in our booth, and we were going to do kind of like a.
No. We were starting to put up a mic in our booth. We didn't even
sorry.
have a mic in our booth.
I was
Like a live session.
yeah, I was like
thinking it'd be kind of cool, right? Like,
yeah, speed dating for accountants, right? We were just going to get them 3 or 4 questions, for 10 seconds to answer.
like 2 fun questions, 3 serious questions, kind of thing.
Yeah, it was going to be fun. But anyways, it got shut down.
No creativity.
I mean, it wasn't Intuit's fault though. It was the people that ran the conference center.
It's California's fault.
Yeah, it's California. Let's just blame that.
It's all the
Don't be mad.
union people, right? Is
Yeah,
what they said. That's what
Yeah.
they blamed it on
She
anyway.
gave me this big long spiel, and I didn't understand half of it, but I was pretty sad because we were going to try to do episode 4 there, but we could not, and so we decided to skip it. But QB Connect was cool.
Great.
For those of you who have not been, so QuickBooks books on that's their big ordeal of the year, kickoff or to end the year, I guess. Right? They do all the like QSP awards to like the top producers. The like all the QB Pro advisors are there. There's a ton of people there. They had Ashton Kutcher. Ashton Kutcher.
Try to edit that one out.
Oh, that's too good.
Ashton Kutcher was the keynote, and then Common was the other one, right? Those were like kind of the 2 main keynote speakers.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
good. And then we did, basically just a massive 2-day conference. We were there from Sunday to Friday. It was a long week, man.
It was a really long week.
It was fun. I mean, it was good to catch up with everybody and see a lot of the people we've been working with.
I heard you gave away all the swag items.
Swag was
People loved
flying
it.
off the shelf.
Yeah,
We had
the
those-
swag game was on point. I
yeah,
heard.
we
Yes.
had the fidget spinner pens, and people acted like they've never seen it before. Which
Well, because a lot of them
granted,
haven't.
like 3 months
They
ago,
were
I hadn't
great.
seen them either.
Yeah.
And
They're
then
awesome.
we had these little.
So these fidget spinner pens are basically the clicker is a fidget spinner on top. And so you can kind of like spin it before you write or whatever, right? So
Yeah,
just for listeners.
I know. Once we have video, we'll have them on.
Maybe.
We'll feature them on.
We'll have to order more because we're all out.
I know they're flying. It was like one of the first conferences we've actually gotten rid of everything before the end of the day, the second day. Like we were out of pens probably halfway through.
We
the
even
second
ran
day.
out of like brochures.
Yeah, which
Like just like the little
never
one-pagers we
happens.
have or whatever. People were like,
Yeah.
oh, do you have those? It was like, wow, okay.
Yeah, they had it laid out kind of weird. Like you probably heard, they had like it was kind of like almost like a little room. So they had like the booth, and then they had a little cap on the corner
Okay.
to kind of close it off, which was where we were trying to do our podcast, hide a little bit. Didn't work.
No. No hiding.
But it was cool. I mean, those things are always like a little crazy. I think we're going to do an episode at one point about conferences and like if
yeah.
you're a small business, if they're worth it, what to do, including like swag activities.
How to decide which ones are
Parties.
worth going to and which ones are probably not
Yeah.
worth your while.
It's all about in my mind, it's quality over quantity though.
Oh,
like when you're
100%.
going to these things, like you can talk to 300 people or you can talk to like 15 people for a long time. Right. And so,
have like the same results.
yeah. So we'll talk about that on that episode. We talk about conferences and events, but it was cool. Avalara and T-Sheets threw an awesome party.
I think it was Avalara, QuickBooks, and T-Sheets.
QuickBooks and T-Sheets, yeah.
QuickBooks had cups there anyway, so I'm assuming that unless they just, I don't know, QuickBooks through the whole conference. So
it was cool.
maybe.
It was like kind of a glow stick theme.
Yeah, so the cups
of
had like the
neon
glow
lights.
stick stuff inside of it, obviously separated from the actual what was in the cup. But
Separate from the drink.
Yeah, like you weren't drinking that. But, so the cups all were glowing. It was pretty cool.
It was cool. It was a good
Yeah.
time. So, anyways, glad to be back. So, but yeah, Intuit, they know how to throw an event. So let's talk about. So we're gonna start. Let's talk about building an online presence. Okay. So I'm a small business. I'm selling product. Like, and not even like the social side of it. Like, let's talk about where do you start, right? Like, you've done a lot of freelance work. What do you ever have people come from nothing and say, hey, give us a roadmap. Where do we even begin on building an online presence? And or do you usually work with people who already have some type of foundation?
I guess you might have with your dad, right? Like maybe not.
Yeah, actually, that was. We didn't have a web designer, so there was software I tried to build a website out of, kind of drag and drop.
Yeah.
It's a terrible site. I don't think you
back in
told
the
me
day?
that, but this is like 10 years ago, 9 years
Before
ago.
before Wixia or whatever that website.
Yeah,
This is like the original
wasn't
probably
Wix.
GoDaddy.
There wasn't Wix, and WordPress was not as popular yet. If you've
Yeah.
heard of WordPress, popular
Yeah.
content management system. So yeah, that was kind of from scratch. That was a rough start, really bad, but it still was enough, and especially being on Google Maps for people looking for a local attorney or local office space.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. That'd be huge.
Yeah. So I've had some people start from scratch, and that's difficult. But I mean, you got to start somewhere. I feel most of them, they at least knew they needed it. They needed
Sure.
to have a presence there, and they were willing to invest in it at least.
Yeah.
They knew they had to get on there because the big thing is they see their competitors there. Like, well, I find my competitors on Google. I want to
have
be
to
there.
be there, yeah.
It's like, yes, you do want to. So let's do this type of thing. So a website is still, it depends on your industry, but in most cases that's important because that's a web property you control. You think
Yeah.
about if you want to get customers online, you want a good salesman online working for you 24/7 in the front
Yeah.
of a site.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, sure, you'll advertise on social media, or there's, also YouTube. There's different places, but your website, you control the full experience,
Yeah.
everything. So you still want that. But I know some industries do great just on Facebook alone.
Really?
Even Instagram is having more options. So LinkedIn as well.
I know
Yeah,
for myself
LinkedIn-
though, I feel like I get really frustrated when I Google something and they don't have a web page. It's only like a Facebook site.
Oh, I get so
I'm
pissed.
automatically like, nah.
It's
Not worth it.
limited.
Yeah.
Like the kind of information you can give about yourself, it's just so limited.
Well, it just seems like scammy. Oh, you don't have a website that costs
Right.
$12 a month to have.
Yeah.
Especially you don't even have to have merchant stuff on there. You don't have to have shopping carts. Hey, but also with Shopify, there's no reason why you shouldn't. It's so stupid simple now. If you don't have a website,
the amount of value you get for like $30
Yeah.
a month on Shopify is
Yeah.
ridiculous. Like payment
yeah.
processing,
Yeah.
shipping built in, so much value.
yeah, I'm with Fulmer. If
Yeah.
if I don't see a website, that's crypto. That's cryptocurrency. That's Sketch City.
It's fake. It's not a real thing.
It's fake, yeah, for real. So Fishbowl is obviously a software company, right? So, but as far as companies with products that would be doing warehousing and doing the whole pick, pack, ship process, where with them, they have to be on, where do they start? Obviously a website, right?
Yeah. So I feel some of those full solution companies you talked about, like Shopify,
Yeah.
BigCommerce, those are usually the best option, and they've become more flexible. Because I've done e-commerce before, kind of marketing for and stuff like that, and
Yeah,
helping
yeah.
people build their sites. And Magento is kind of like an open source e-commerce solution, but it's expensive to code. It's like if you have a BMW in the United States.
Yeah.
It's expensive to service.
Fixed, yeah.
Where your Shopify becomes more like your Honda Civics, your sedans.
go.
It's you have what you need. It's accessible. There's a lot of people that know how to developers that can work within it, and they've really improved their platform so that they are compliant with SEO lately and being mobile friendly. They have a
Yeah.
lot of templates.
Yeah, that's awesome.
WordPress, which is the most popular platform on the internet right now, I think a third of all sites or a fourth of all sites are on WordPress.
Really?
And it's quite flexible, and their storefronts are better. But they have several plugins. Like there's WooCommerce.
Yeah.
There's some other ones similar.
Yeah.
And they've come a long way, but you still need to get lots of plugins to do what Shopify just does. But with something like WordPress, you have full control. And
Yeah.
you can get a little more flexibility of having the website functionality, the blog
Customized
functionality.
templates,
Yeah. So it depends what you're going for, but there are definitely economical options where it does not cost much to be online, upload your products, and to set them up correctly.
So Shopify they're an e-commerce solution, but so does it come with a website as well?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like a full stack,
Yep, and
And
you can
so-
edit it. It's very
One-stop
user friendly
shop.
for someone that's beginner friendly. Like it's
Yeah,
kind of
cool.
drag and drop. Like click here to upload your logo.
I'm
things
assuming a lot
that.
of training videos with if you can't figure this out, here's how you actually do it kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And I guess they're probably big enough that people are probably doing that on YouTube without being paid by them specifically. So
Yeah, I didn't know YouTube. I didn't know Shopify had a website built, website builder built in. Is that they've always had that?
Is that standard?
I feel that's more standard lately, but usually it's you download a template option.
Yeah.
So they have 20 or so free ones.
Cool,
Then they
cool.
have
Paid.
a lot more premium ones, and
Yeah.
within the template you can only interact the content within kind of a box what they
Cool.
give you.
Cool.
But it's usually pretty typical. You go to a site, you expect to see a logo in the corner, the menu, maybe a nice hero image,
Search,
and then
yeah.
products or kind of some little widgets that say, hey, here's our latest products. or news.
Yeah,
So
pop
most
up.
Yeah.
websites are pretty practical. I mean, you'll see some pretty unique things out there where the whole website is like an image and that looks nice. But usually there's kind of a typical thing people look for.
I was going to say, but the functionality behind some of those more creative ones are not always up to
Right.
par. Yeah.
Right.
But
You have-
yeah, it's cool, but like, if I'm the end consumer,
Yeah.
and I can't find where I like find sizes,
Or if I'm looking on my phone and I can't figure out where to like
Oh,
click
I
on my
hate that.
phone, but I have to get on my computer to actually find the website.
And mobile friendly is a big one.
game
That's a
over.
must-have now.
My
for
wife like
sure.
refuses to use a computer.
Okay.
She'll like go to do stuff on her phone, like pay our medical bills, and I'm like, no, it's a freaking hospital website.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not going to have a good mobile friendly website.
yeah.
For the most part. Sorry.
When I pay for things, I have to be on desktop.
Yeah. Oh, and that's what I tell her. I'm
It's
like,
like,
oh,
what
you have to get on the
Are you
computer.
freaked
What
out
if I
about that?
what if I click the wrong thing and
Yeah.
charge goes through or something, or I
Yeah.
want to go back?
Yep.
I need to.
You need the full view.
She refuses.
Yeah, I'm like.
So I have another question too. Sorry, like going back a little ways, you said something about the storefront being better. So I'm assuming that means that's kind of like the user experience, what they see, and then there's a back end what the admin sees, right? So the storefront
Right.
will be like what the actual like user experience is, right? Okay, that makes sense. Cool.
Yeah.
So, coming back to the first question, so where does somebody, like, let's say you're starting a company. I mean, obviously, like social media and websites are like the first thing you do. Where does someone go from there as far as building online presence?
So, as far as like ways you can get started, so if you're just a business owner for yourself, or even if you have a small team, you need to at least be informed about it. It's just like if you're going to an auto mechanic or a contractor, you can. I don't know if the word is say taking advantage if you don't understand it, but it's good to at least understand what goes into it.
You're
as far
describing
as
my life right now.
You know?
You say auto mechanic and contractor.
you know, you just don't know
Those
if
are hitting
like
too
does
close
that
to home.
does that
I'm out
really
here.
cost me $1,000 or like what are you actually doing? So
Yeah.
it's good to at least understand at surface level.
Yeah.
And then there's pros and cons to whether you want to do it yourself or you want to. Obviously, eventually you want to hire someone. So if that's in house, you'll have someone that's usually hopefully invested. They have skin in the game. It is their job.
Yeah.
Your success is their success. An agency, if you go with some kind of agency, you'll get a lot of cumulative experience they've gained with all the different clients and things like that. But they're going to have lots of clients. They're going to try and streamline their services. So they're not quite as invested perhaps
Yeah.
because, they're trying to be efficient with the use of all their,
You're just a
their
number,
people managing
yeah.
accounts. So there's kind of a con there, but you'll get expertise. And especially if it's an agency that has a lot of happy clients. But yeah, they want to have as much skin in the game if they, quote, lose a client if they don't get your results.
Yeah, for sure.
So you have a give and take there. And then there's also kind of the hybrid of you have in-house and then you use consultants for different areas you want to market in. Like, I mean, specialists are very important today. Like Facebook specialists that just do Facebook ads only. Or
Really?
someone that only does SEO or paid search. Yeah, specializing and spending a lot of time in a platform goes a long way. Because I feel there's a lot of people that are like, oh yeah, I know how to use social media. I can market there. I use Instagram. But you don't know like the cost per clicks. You don't know some of the techniques to get your ad to show up higher.
Yeah.
Like you really,
Especially because they're changing their algorithms like every update. you
right.
know?
And then there's also specialists that specialize in your industry
Yeah.
where they've marketed to your customer base before.
Yeah.
So they know what's worked. We're like, if you create a little ebook about this, you will get leads. This will
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
Or that type of thing. Or for some industries, it's very different, like B2B or B2C. For example, on Facebook, small ticket items do very well. When I say small ticket, like $100 and below. If you have something that cost show up on a Facebook feed, you can have a higher chance of sales because it's kind of a low risk thing to buy.
Yeah.
But if you have, someone who like their sale is like 10,000, it's like very like it's robust software or just something large, you're not going to get many people like that on Facebook because it's a big commitment right off the bat.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So maybe just build a list first. If you know what their problems are and you know what you solve, you're trying to solve their problems. So first of all, give them something small so they can see that you know what you're talking about, like whether it's a guide or an ebook. and then just kind of warm them up, build a list, and then get them in the funnel, maybe expose something bigger.
Yeah.
So anyways, but they're definitely like there's a lot of depth at each platform and how you use it. So using specialists or consultants can go a long way too if you want to have in-house, but also expertise.
Yeah.
So different ways to do it depending on your budget. You kind of have to test and figure out what works for you.
Yeah.
Because
So-
I've seen all work and I've seen all not work. It depends.
Oh yeah, that's true. So you could have, I mean, you could also hire someone in that you're saying like you have someone that's basically your in-house specialist, but then if they are doing something outside of their specialty, they can use like an outsourced type marketing, either through an agency or through one of these
Just
other
a consultant
websites.
be like, okay, we're
Upwork
going to
or
pay you to teach us
Fiverr.
all you know.
Yeah.
Teach my
Yeah.
marketing guy all you know so that he absorbs that knowledge and keeps that in-house, and then we run with it.
Yeah.
How hard is that to find, like on a Google, for example, instead of hiring like a consultant, right? If you're like, oh, what are some of the tricks of the trade? Are they actually going to give you some of the good tricks of the trade?
If you're paying them, so what
I mean, like if you just try to search it on Google or whatever, right? Instead of hiring a consultant.
Okay,
Does that make sense?
Yeah, because there is a lot of information out there
Yeah,
these days.
just like a
because-
self-taught situation.
Absolutely, because I feel people are willing to give out more information because that's a selling point. If you teach someone something, they're usually impressed with you. Like they think, oh, you know, probably everything about this. So I still feel there's value in using experts because there are techniques that are working at the time that they know are working and they're spending money on that works
Yeah.
for them. But there is a lot of information online as well. So I think you could probably start just asking your questions online first, do search, see what you get.
Yeah.
And then as you get in more depth, you might upgrade or you might just do whether it's like a trial run with an expert or something to see what they give you. But
Two questions. One, where, like, let's say I wanted to find agency / specialist, what are like the top 3 websites? Because if you're listening to this and you're like, oh, I probably should do that. Like, right, we're just starting out. Maybe I should hire an agency. Maybe I should hire a consultant. Where would you even begin? Do you know websites off the top
I guess
of your
maybe
head?
like in general, not necessarily like industry specific, right?
Yeah, just in general. Like, let's say like someone's selling just like something on e-commerce goods or wholesaling something.
well, this isn't an agency, but the brand is HubSpot.
Okay.
And they have great CRM software, but they've kind of become an all-in-one marketing solution. So they are a software solution.
Yeah.
But they give out tons of free information. So in a sense, like they are kind of giving like what you're saying, they give out a lot of free expertise. So if you use their tools and you kind of use their expertise as well, you could kind of run on your own for
Figure
a
it
bit
out.
with how much they give. So HubSpot is someone that I look at as someone that's a leader in marketing. They give out a lot of techniques, things
that's
I've
cool.
tried and that have worked. And they have one of the largest conferences right now, Inbound. They usually get about 20,000 marketing professionals.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of clout.
That
as
was in
far as-
Boston, right?
That was the
No, they
Boston
just
one.
went to
Oh,
Festival.
yeah.
Yeah, that was the same
Yep,
week
yep.
as the
Yeah,
We're the
Countess.
same week.
So HubSpot's a big brand. I mean, as far as like agencies, I mean, I know lots of different agencies.
Yeah.
Are they good? I don't know.
How do you vet them? Yeah.
So I don't know if I want to tell someone, hey, try these guys because they're good. Because I think my information would be old.
Depends on the locale.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, while we're on the subject, you can just Google it, right? Google top SEO consultants.
Yeah, but
That's true.
so I mean, I'm just thinking of people
See how
that
good
give
they
out
are, they're
fantastic.
trained.
As far as giving out fantastic content, though, I'd say HubSpot.
Yeah.
And then SEMrush, they give it a lot of great stuff with SEO.
Okay.
They've done several reports where they'll look at like they have a lot of data. They help you track your rankings.
Yeah.
So you can see what's working, not working, and where you adjust. But they give out like the top 10 factors that are working in SEO right now. And they've had like people vote on it and they're looking at millions of results to get this data. So it's really good, useful information. They're another example of they do software, but they give out great information. So HubSpot, SEMrush, and Moz. Those are kind of the trifecta, I think, of some of they give the best marketing information to learn something,
Yeah,
whether
that's
it's
sweet.
beginner, intermediate, or advanced. They'll give you something useful, and their tools are useful. But yeah, agencies, I don't know. I don't know if
Yeah.
I'd want to put my name
No,
on any of
you're
them.
good. I mean, that's
But, you know.
the services. That's great. I mean, especially if you have an, someone that's an in-house marketer,
Yeah.
You know, at least people listening, they can at least direct them to those that they can learn more how to do it on their own, right? Okay, my second question was, you're talking about ebooks, right? And we were talking about this in a meeting earlier about basically business development and having marketing do kind of like send out ebooks and then people following up on them. What kind of content do you say? Like, that's just like straight up free education, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's what you want to focus on. How long
Well,
do you
definitely
normally do these?
If you're thinking about what you want to offer as an ebook for your prospects,
Mm-hmm.
okay, you'll want to do some brainstorming and think about the pain points of your potential customers, like what causes them a lot of pain, and then create something short. By short, I mean this is anywhere from maybe 3 to 5 pages.
Got it.
Could be up to 10 maybe, but just a concise answer to that question or to
Specific,
that pain.
very specific.
Solve their problem quickly, concisely, and they'll associate that value with you. It's like, what else can they teach me, or what else can I learn from them?
Yeah.
So definitely do the research. You know your customer base. What is their pain? Solve it concisely, and that can go a long way.
That's great.
Creating a little asset like that.
Do
And
we
that's-
do that at Fishbowl?
We do it,
Okay,
and we build lists from it.
Yeah.
So like an inventory management guide.
That's
where we just
cool.
give out a lot of just good information, and yeah, and it works.
very
It works quite
specific.
well as far as people will opt in
Yeah.
to get it. I think
And that
like
right
we'll
there,
build a list.
yeah, and people are coming to your website from that, you know, so that, I mean, that right there is building some type of presence, right, you know, just in that action.
Absolutely.
Sorry, did you have a question?
no,
Okay.
just in.
Will you turn your mic just barely this way?
Yeah, there we go. That sound okay?
Towards me a little more. Yeah, there we go.
There we
That's it better.
go.
That was
Um,
rich.
More crisp.
Very full.
There we go. There we go. So my next question, let's go back to the kind of the AdWords and PPC world, right? Mm-hmm. So for those of you, myself included, that have no idea what budget to start at, like, what's your best advice? Like, where do you start? Like, it's kind of scary. Everyone talks about, you know, because you can
Or you can spend all your resources on this, I'm sure.
ton of money. I work
Yeah.
for a company, kind of a healthcare app, where we spent so much money in SEO Google AdWords.
Yeah.
And we got like nothing back.
Oh yeah.
Like thousands, you know, it was like thousands a month just going into the garbage.
Mm-hmm.
So where do you suggest start small? Like, is it?
I think you should start smaller usually, and then ramp up as you find success. You find what works.
Yeah.
But definitely view it as an experiment. Like, you can't be afraid to lose
try.
money or to fail. You have to look at it as, okay, we know our prospects search for us, and we need to get in front of them. If we're not there organically yet, we need to get in the paid ads. Let's do what we can there.
Yeah.
So small, it can be relative depending on the size of the company and their budget. It could be a few hundred, could be a few thousand, could be hundreds of thousand. But what you're trying to establish, or you're trying to find trends. You're trying to see how your customers respond to your ads. You want to see if they're clicking on them.
Yeah.
And then you optimize from there. So a big way is you want to work backwards from how well your sales funnel is. Okay. So here's an example, because I've worked for several companies, so I've seen different numbers. So I'm going to use just kind of fudge numbers here.
Cool.
But let's say you're spending like maybe 10,000 on your Google ads, okay? And that gets you X amount of traffic. So you figure, okay, we're spending about $10 for a click or someone to come to our site.
Yeah.
And out of how many people come to our site, how many leads are we getting? Whether it's an opt-in, you know, let's say you're a software company for a free trial or a free demo, okay? So let's say with all the spend, it's about $10 for a website visitor, and then it's about $100 for a lead for someone to opt in. That's what we're spending.
Yeah.
And to someone that may be like, oh, that's $100. It's like, but wait, let's
There's
keep going,
more.
okay? So from
not where it
those,
ends.
from those leads, how many qualified leads that the salesmen are working with, you know, how many do we get from that? And let's say we're now at about $500 to get a qualified lead from that funnel down.
Yeah.
And then they get that sale, and ultimately funneling all the way down, chiseling down, it costs about $2,000 to get that sale.
Yeah.
But before that seems scary, if that's a sale that's worth $20,000, $50,000,
Yeah.
that's worth it. in your funnel.
Yeah.
So you see what works. Are we breaking even? Are we getting a big return? And
Yeah.
also, especially if you have upsells and you have reoccurring like things you can offer your customers, so you have lifetime value.
Yeah.
So the initial sell that you got might have been 20,000, but over time it could be 100,000 of getting one customer in your ecosystem.
Yeah. So if you're selling, yeah. And then, I mean, and to take that kind of down into like the product space, I mean, even if you're doing, that's a repeat customer, right? Like they may buy a pair of jeans and it may cost you $75 to get them a lead, but then they may be buying 10 more
They
pairs
love
of
your
jeans the rest
brand.
of their
They
life.
want to find matching
Yeah.
apparel. Absolutely. So you need to be brave enough to experiment.
Yeah.
And it's okay to have some losses, but as long as you learn something and you kind of get your funnel down to a science. So you're not just throwing marketing dollars at something
And hoping they stick.
you're looking at it methodically of how much traffic are we getting, how many leads, how many qualified leads, and how many sales are we closing. And with analytics now, with things like HubSpot
Yeah.
or even Google Analytics, you can attribute a lot of it back to sometimes the keyword or the landing page. So you can see it was working or not working, as in, ooh, turn up this ad group
Yeah.
because we know that's working well. This ad group isn't. Turn it off or dial it back. So you definitely need to optimize to cut your losses, but you do need to spend the money in the beginning. You do need to invest
Yeah.
because you need to run clicks through. You need to get people to your site.
Yeah.
You need to see how they respond so that you can become smarter. So starting small, yeah, it depends
Yeah.
on the side of the business, but you definitely need to throw some money there because that's how you get the experiment going. You be in the lab.
Yeah.
It's just like anything else, right? Like it's a little bit of research and development there.
Absolutely.
So I guess with services or whatever you want to call it, like HubSpot, does it actually like give you like a dashboard that shows you that, like, oh, you probably want to shut off this like keyword or whatever that you're paying for, or does it just give you the analytics and you kind of figure it out from there? Does that make sense? Even I
Yeah,
don't know if I
there's-
worded that very well.
No, you did. So I work in HubSpot, but not as thorough as someone else at our company. They're like really in there, so they might be able to answer that. From what I've seen, though, they don't give like AI recommendations.
Sure.
Really, they give you all the information so you can make the decisions.
Which
they may
makes
have a
sense.
function that does that. I'm not aware of it.
Sounds kind of like a risky move for
but
them to do that,
but-
so that makes sense.
But there are more sophisticated tools like that
Yeah.
that I've seen.
or like add-ons or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's add-ons or just there are more people are wanting more automation.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing more tools like that. Maybe Domo does it, or I know there's a company called Finch that they're very sophisticated in how they recommend things within PPC, and they'll even make adjustments for you.
Wow.
So definitely there are options like that. I still like kind of a little more manual approach because I mean those tools don't know your customers as well as you do. They
Yeah.
can see signals. So there's standard things as far as like click-through rate. Are they bouncing right away that you can see? But
Sure.
I mean, you should have the pulse on what you know might work and not in tandem with the data you get. So
Makes sense. Cool.
How often are you tweaking the funnel? Like let's say you throw a little bit of money at it. You're waiting to see what sticks, what trends. How are you doing it? Weekly, biweekly? Because it takes a little bit, right, to build trend.
yeah, within. So as far as from the front of the funnel, or I guess the advertising, like in the Google Ads console, daily. There are some people that will kind of set it and forget it. Because you initially set up your campaign, you tell Google what keywords you want to go after,
Yeah.
what ads you want where you want your ads to show, and you create your ads, and you can just let it run. But that's not. I wouldn't advise that because you can get a lot of loss there. You want to be pretty thorough, and if something isn't working, you want to make adjustments.
Quickly.
I like to run some data through. So whether that number is 30 clicks, 100 clicks,
Okay.
or actual people interacting, I would make. It depends, but
Look,
definitely
yeah.
you want to get enough data through where you really feel that it's not just a fluke. It's this is how enough people are reacting to this ad. Let's change it.
Yeah, let's turn it up or whatever it is.
You can also use like split testing software where someone comes to your site and you're able to give them two results, and you can see which result they respond better with, and then you can eventually go with the winner, the landing page that people responded the best with.
That's cool.
But that's where you would want to run a good amount of data through to make sure you really have a quote winner.
Yeah.
So that could be hundreds of visits, thousands of visits, could be weeks. I would say it comes down to like how many people see it. And if you get the hunch, all right, that's enough data. We feel that's a real result. That's not just kind of a fluke.
Yeah. And you guys are constantly, I mean, you're working, so your SEO team, your marketing team, whoever's doing the SEO and the analytics and that should be working with whoever the website, like it should be a constant, like if the websites are saying you're doing A/B testing, right? Or if you're using like Hotjar, right, which does like heat maps to say like, okay, people are never clicking on this, and they kind of track like flows of customers, right?
We definitely try and be very thorough with, so the landing pages we have, our development team creates, we want it to match the messaging of the ad or be similar to what they're looking for.
Got it.
So to be very specific with your ad groups, you definitely want to have all of it consistent.
Yeah.
And Google even gives you an ad score based on that. As in based on, they do look at like the keywords you have in the ad and the keywords you have on the landing page, but also just to kind of see how people respond along the way. And they give you an ad score for kind of relevance. It's from 1 to 10.
So it's not just clickbait.
Right. So if you quote, give them a good experience so they're not bouncing right away, they'll give you a higher ad score. So you can be in the search results, you can be in position number 1 and pay less than other people if you give a good enough experience. Because originally, before they gave quality scores, it was to the highest bidder. You pay the most, you get the top spot. So this is more. This is where the users win. That it's not just the person paying the most. Google wants to see who's actually has the best result as far as they can tell, even if they pay less. So that's the balance we try to strike to be that best result. And you need clicks through to tell Google that. See, people came to our landing page and they stayed.
Yeah.
They liked what they saw. They didn't just go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
So is that typically how they count or how they, I guess, calculate how successful a landing page is? It's just like time spent on that page?
That's one of the ways.
Okay.
Definitely. They used to not always do that.
Okay.
Now I know they always had that data because that's from Google Analytics.
Sure.
A solution they also control. But now
They control the world.
Yeah, they do.
Hey, don't forget about
Eagle
Bing.
eye.
That's right. Bing's still a thing.
Google actually owns Bing, so I'm just kidding.
That's going to be the name of this podcast. Bing's still a thing.
Bing's a thing. That's great.
No one will listen to it, though.
Yeah. So it's called bounce rate, or how long someone stays and doesn't bounce is what you want.
So you want someone to click on your page, basically, and then get distracted and leave somewhere else. Hopefully they stay on there a long time.
Yeah, you want them to
come back.
stay. You want them
Okay.
to stay and read all your messaging because it's what they need. It answers their questions, and hopefully go to other pages, kind of keep going because you want to direct them through your site.
Yeah, absolutely.
You
That
don't
makes
just,
sense.
I mean, some businesses, just the brochure of the 5 pages, about us, contact us, that's fine. But now it's more business sophisticated where they want to take someone through an experience, kind of a funnel to get them to take the action they want.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you
Yeah.
want to create some value right from the beginning, right?
Right.
Makes sense.
Then it's all dependent on the product. Like we're a software, our website's going to be a lot heavier than someone who sells boots.
Right.
Right.
We need to explain all the features and uses in detail.
Yeah.
Type of
And
thing.
it's a more expensive purchase. Like whereas someone that's doing boots, like they may want to see if they're attached to, a charity or whatever it is, but like they just want to picture the price.
Right.
And a cart.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So my next question is: so there's a few. Did you have anything else to say on that? By the way, sorry, I shouldn't have cut you off.
No, I think I
Okay.
covered enough.
So there's a few myths that I sent you earlier, and these were kind of like the myths of building an online presence. Some of these are so stupid, but some of them might be. I mean, I don't know. Myth one. So I want to go through some of these. Sorry, go ahead.
So, that felt like an old question, like 10 years old, but I'm sure there are still some people that just want to pick up the phone. So I looked it up and I did see that Yellow Pages stopped printing January this year.
Yeah, I heard that. Actually.
Interesting.
That's the first time they're like, we are all digital. So that's difficult for those people that are more comfortable picking up the phone and finding someone through Yellow
Yeah,
Pages. Because
Just this year, 2019. It took them that long.
yeah. So I'm
I mean, I think about my grandparents. They wouldn't know how to look for something on their phones.
yeah.
They need that Yellow
You ever seen
Pages.
those commercials with those?
Yeah, I
old-
feel
old
bad
people
for them.
on there?
I hope there's something for them.
I know, right? But they got me. They can pick up their phone and call me, and I'll have to look
They
it up
got
for them,
that.
basically.
They got that senior network, man. You ever seen those commercials? Those like old people at the cabin, and it's like broad. It's an ad for like some mobile network
Okay.
that's like specifically for old people. I don't know what's different about it.
No.
Yeah, I need to look it up.
That's funny.
That's funny. The commercial is just like they're like at this cabin. They're on their phones. And they're like just
Everyone has their phone way far away.
The typical like back looking at the thing. And they're like trying to do a selfie, and I'm like, dang, that's so awesome.
Yeah. So
sorry.
I mean, you got to know your audience.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, so whoever's listening, we assume like you know your people better than we do.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming most people are online.
Yeah.
Or could be enough of your prospects online that it's worth getting in front of them.
Yeah.
So I mean,
So
I'm a millennial. I'm 33, so
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm an elder millennial. I was born in 86. But I mean, I was around for the landline,
yeah.
for stuff like that.
Yeah, you're
Our
right.
parents had Yellow Pages.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
So I remember that was around.
87.
So
88,
87,
baby.
okay.
So,
86, 87, 88.
Yeah. So as far as how I interact online or how I interact, I still kind of prefer a text message instead of a call, unless you
Yeah.
really need to call me. But let's
And
say
if you need to call me, text me and tell me you're calling me.
yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
That was probably me. My bad.
So yeah, I kind of read an article about this recently. So as far as like interacting online, so that let's assume like demographics to some degree are mostly online.
Yeah.
So if we look at like baby boomers or Gen X, so baby boomers may be retiring or they're C-level positions. Okay.
Yeah.
And Gen X, there may be C-level positions as well or upper management.
yeah.
Millennials are starting to be in management positions, kind of decision making, so they may be able to make decisions on, yeah, we'll buy that software or we'll hire you.
Yeah.
And then Generation Z, so that's I think about 99 or 2000 and above, they're starting to enter the workforce in entry level positions.
Yeah.
To an extent.
Yeah.
So if you kind of think about that, you think, how do they all interact? You know, so Gen X, they prefer a call, a phone call, maybe a face-to-face meeting. I'm thinking this is if you're a salesman or
Yeah,
you're trying
yeah,
to
for
find
sure.
prospects.
Sure.
And then millennials, email, text, maybe some calls, kind of more of a mix. Generation Z, it's going to be text.
All text.
So companies like Podium, who's
Yeah.
growing big around here locally in Utah,
Yeah.
they're all about taking the sales process to text.
Yeah.
That's not all they do, but that's a big part of the doing that.
Yeah. The
Yeah, sure.
customer reviews, everything's via text now.
So when you know your demographic, you know your customer, you're thinking about how do I best reach them, interact with them. For B2B, Facebook or social media can be a little bit tougher, but I'm seeing more businesses there. So they're finding ways because ultimately, even though you're marketing to a business, it's a person that has a role in that company. So you can reach them somehow. B2C, business to consumer, it obviously does great across social media.
Oh, yeah.
So you definitely need to approach it. We have to approach it a certain way
yeah.
with how we market our software. But yeah, it just comes down to once you know your customer, you have to find out how to reach them.
Yeah. What types of online stuff they're on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Matt, that myth one, then obviously my target audience isn't online. That's myth one, obviously, is a joke. Although I have heard from some, like I've been on trainings
Yeah.
with like companies in the Midwest that like they either like make big machinery and they don't even have a website, because they're like, oh, our guy, we're just the only people in this county that make this
Yeah.
type of thing. So they call us,
Yeah.
I know so-and-so's dad and so-and-so's grandpa has been coming here for 30 years.
Yeah, that's
So-
true. Yeah, not just like age demographics, like you said, like
Yeah.
where you live, kind of whether it's suburban or
Yeah.
rural or inner city.
Yeah.
They all have their tendencies and how they interact.
Yeah.
Freaks me out with those
Online.
companies because I'm always like, you guys might not be looking to grow, but other companies are, and they might take this over if you, you know what I mean?
Little
Like,
mom and
you
pop
might
shop.
want to.
I want you to succeed,
Yeah.
but the juggernaut's coming.
You still need to move forward, even if you just want to sustain yourself. So
Seriously.
yeah.
So, and that leads into myth number 2, SMB marketers don't need web presences. So apparently there's this website that it's called SCORE. They're basically education and mentoring services. It seems like they work a lot with like consulting companies to get like random stats, right? So according to a 2018 report, 34% of SMBs in America didn't have a website as of last year, which is like insane to me.
Yeah, that's still surprising in 2019.
Yeah.
I wonder how many of them have Facebook pages though.
Yeah, that's the thing, 'cause it's free.
Yeah.
It's so cheap for a website now,
That's
though.
so cheap.
Do you
It
think
is
people
so
know, though?
cheap.
Maybe people just
No.
don't know.
Or just
just
Or
don't
like I said,
care.
it's just the people that are like, oh, we're the only people in this county that make them. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, great. You're not looking to grow outside this county, but people
Yeah.
are probably looking to enter this county. So
Yeah,
be
but if
careful.
you've been listening at all to this, like you'll know, like you have to have a website.
you
Like,
have to.
And I kind of like what you're saying. Like some of those companies, let's say maybe out like in the smaller towns, they're just used to a certain way and it's working.
Yeah.
But if you have like, more ambitious growth goals, things like that,
Yeah,
I
that's what I'm
don't
saying.
see
You're
how
not-
you
you're not
couldn't
growing,
because
yeah.
it's all about scaling. It's all about scaling your messaging across the internet. So, yeah, that's shocking.
Yeah.
But I can see how some people might think that. So this made me think of one of my favorite, I guess I would call it marketing quotes. So I don't know if you knew who Brian Tracy is. He's kind of been known as a sales goal type guru,
Yeah.
kind of motivational things you might find on Audible or things like that. But one thing he asks, that he asked in one of his books was, what is the number one way to double your sales? And it's like, ooh, this is a clickbait question because everyone wants to notice. And it's true. But what he said I felt pretty useful. He said, to double your sales, you double the time you spend in front of quality prospects.
It makes sense.
So then you have to ask yourself, are your qualified prospects online? And if they are, you need to get in front of them.
Yeah.
Because qualified prospects, you can do face-to-face sales. You can call them. You're getting your message in front of them. But when you are found, when they're looking,
Yeah.
and they are ready to make a decision or late research, you need to be there with your offer
And your content,
So
yeah.
you need to be online because if they're there, your competitors are fighting
Sure
for
they-
them.
yeah.
So you need to try and get there. So
Yeah.
that's my answer to that. If your prospect are there, get in front of them.
Yeah.
I like it. Myth 3. So this is you actually said this earlier about the Facebook. So my industry is too boring for social media. So B2B, and I mean that's even here like with Fishbowl, right? Like people aren't buying a decently expensive software off of Instagram, right? But I think people still need to have a social media presence, just because it's like you said, you're doubling the time you're getting in front of them. And what we've found, especially in the partnership world, and if you're out of sight, you're out of mind, right? Like, so
Yeah.
Yep.
if you're constantly, even if it's just stupid stuff, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, especially now, Twitter, like even if you don't have an offering where you can just, hey, click here and you have a link, affiliate link to buy something right there, you still have to be there
Yeah, well, even
because it's about FaceTime, right?
you want to occupy their mind space to be a solution for a need they have.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it now. There are like certain brands that have almost just owned solutions.
Oh yeah.
What are toys to build with? Legos.
Yeah.
It's almost synonymous with, I want Legos.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
just
yeah.
what that is.
The whole Kleenex tissue thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you want to be that for your solution. So the branding of having ads out on Facebook, or
Yeah.
putting out great content that solves their problems, you want to be on their mind when they come back and
Yeah.
do that.
Here's an example. Is there a more boring industry than insurance? But they freaking dominate the social media space sometimes, I feel like, especially like in advertising.
Oh, that's
Like-
true. Yeah.
Oh, and they've gotten funny.
Oh, exactly. And
I
they
love
can
the
make it
funny
entertaining.
ones.
Yeah, like Geico, that little gecko or whatever,
Yeah.
he's funny.
Like
Yeah,
people
there's a lot
still
of-
like.
And it's the most boring industry on the planet,
That's
in
right.
my opinion.
That's a great. That's
Which
a,
I'm pretty sure is a pretty solid opinion on that subject.
no, that's a great example. Yeah,
What's
like
the Mayhem guy?
Oh, yeah, Allstate, I think. Or
love
no, not Allstate, because he's the deep voice guy.
is it? Also?
No, it's not. It's like I don't know.
Mayhem, though, he's good, dude.
Yeah.
I saw another one on that one yesterday with like the Lime scooters.
Same thing.
Progressive
funny.
is the scanner lady.
Flow.
Who is Mayhem? Is it?
I don't know. If Sean was here, we could fact check.
But
it.
Yeah,
I
Sean,
love
our
that
fact
one.
checker's not here. I'm gonna look.
And
him up.
I feel that a lot of weight goes to humor or just if they like your ad. It's kind of like
Yeah.
it's like the cool kid in school everyone usually likes, unless
Yeah.
they're mean. But you know what I mean? Like just like
Yeah.
everyone kind of likes humor. Like they like
Well, you
I
look like the
that.
best Super Bowl ads and stuff, right? It's like the
Yeah.
ones that you're going to remember
It's
and talk about the next day.
It brings out
Yeah.
an emotion that's memorable.
It's all state.
So
It is Allstate. Okay.
Got it.
States
Sorry.
Nailed it.
doing pretty good.
Started to
yeah.
second guess myself.
It's a millennial in me, man. Just gotta find out now.
I know, right? Gotta know now.
I was thinking of a couple examples like that. So, I mean, around here, purple mattresses. I mean, I think
Yeah,
mattresses
yeah.
are boring.
Yeah.
Like, looking at mattresses on a Saturday morning is like a depressing
That's
Saturday morning for
death.
me.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, just I don't care about it. But they, their Goldilocks and the Three Bears ads, very creative,
Yeah.
very memorable, kind of witty. They've that campaign has been huge for them.
Yeah.
Purple mattresses.
They've killed it through. Well, I mean, that's a local company too. They did it through Harmon Brothers.
Harmon Brothers.
So
that's their style.
They kill it, dude.
Harmon's Brothers have a great,
especially with e-commerce stuff like Poopery, Squatty Potty. If you haven't seen these commercials,
I've seen all of them. Poopery, I've seen.
Chat books.
Chatbooks is good
Yeah,
too.
check them out. Just type it. Go to YouTube. Look up Harmon Brothers commercials. Anyways, they're awesome.
They
They're a
are
local company,
fantastic,
too. They
and more
kill it.
companies are adopting that style.
Yeah, that humorous, like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
you know, doesn't really. I mean, they get their point across, but they it's entertaining, right?
Right.
It's the
They
whole
do-
like leave them wanting more idea,
Yeah.
right? Like where it's
Yeah.
like, okay, keep our name in mind, but you don't have to know everything we do and every problem point or pain point or whatever
Right.
that
Yeah.
we solve within this 30-second slot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, no industry is too boring for social media. Okay, let's do myth 4 and 5 here. So myth 4 is if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's kind of going back to your if you don't plan on growing, then yeah, for sure don't fix it. Right? If you want to just stay chilling, stagnant, then yeah, don't fix it. Don't put any effort into it.
And I took that as also like it's kind of the chess match with Google and approaching that.
Yeah.
So that's how I kind of took it, and that's a fine balance I've had to try and find.
Yeah.
Because, you know, there's the Wayne Gretzky quote, you know, skate to where the puck is going, not where it is. So years ago, maybe 3 to 4 years ago, I felt a lot more, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, Google would say, you know, just create something best for the user or just create great content. And that was true. But they didn't show that with the results they were having in the top 10. You could see trends of the amount of links they had to their site, keywords they were using. So it was kind of, they had a double standard. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, I believe it when I see it and you stop ranking me, wink type of thing.
Yeah.
But more lately, they came out, about 3 or 4 years ago, they came out with something called RankBrain, which was basically an improvement to their algorithm. Whereas a lot more AI learning, they're really trying to understand user intent, what
Yeah.
someone is really saying. So now more than ever, absolutely skate to where the puck is going. You should, and we've always tried to create great content, and everyone should.
Yeah.
But you could always kind of add some optimizations that would help. Now I feel it's very much more aligned with what they say and what they're ranking of great content, period.
Yeah.
But there are other signals that have worked before that still work. So I feel Google has backed up their play before of just create great content for the user. So definitely skate to where the puck is going. So yeah, stay up on the latest industry standards, learn what you can, because competitors I feel are investing more in their web presence. So you're thinking about you're competing with that. So yeah, you constantly need to be evolving and upping your game because they're leveling up constantly. Our competitors are. So we're trying to stay on top of the game as well. So everyone needs to approach it that way.
It's a good point.
I like it. All right, last myth, and then we'll wrap it up. And this is kind of a culmination of what we've been talking about the whole time, but an online presence isn't worth the investment. So, like you said, you got to spend money up front, right? You got to make sure you're willing to kind of put skin in the game to get the return back.
Yeah.
But I think as long as you have either someone in-house or an agency that knows what they're doing and you're staying on top of, and you're constantly kind of shooting that moving that target with what's working, like, of course it's worth it.
Yeah. I feel you absolutely need to invest in a web presence somehow. What that is depends on your budget. I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't, just like anything you couldn't afford to lose, don't throw your whole like business savings at it.
Yeah.
A certain amount of your budget that it's okay to lose or to use some of it as you're experimenting.
Yeah.
But you absolutely need to try and get in the game. You need to like carve out a niche or, play to your strengths, market what you're great at. You need to find a way to stand out somehow. But I feel you definitely need to prime the pump so that you can be found, whether it's paid search, your ads are Google likes them. They've created a quality score for themselves. You understand how users interact with your ads, so you know what to spend and not waste. And then organically, SEO takes much more time. It takes some little time for the content to get indexed and for Google to score it and to hopefully have that content shared or other sites mention it, kind of linking back, kind of a vote of, let's say like CNN mentioned us Or let's see, what's something more credible? I don't know, maybe entrepreneur.com link to us. That's great for us.
Yeah.
Because that's a great endorsement of our site. And Google can see that signal. So definitely you should invest the money, put it out there, because it can absolutely be kind of a golden goose for you.
Yeah.
If you have that online salesman just constantly, customers are in front of it.
Yeah.
And hopefully producing for you.
That's awesome.
So,
You like it?
yeah.
Well, great. Well, thanks.
I learned a lot today.
Yeah,
That was
dude.
awesome.
That's awesome. Thanks for the words of wisdom. Any final advice? Any final words? Just invest. You got to put investment in it, right?
Yep. I would say learn a little bit, and then don't be afraid to invest. And then,
Pull the
if you
trigger.
want to double your sales, double the time that you're in front of quality prospects,
love it.
qualified prospects.
Double the time.
Yep.
Go with another Wayne Gretzky quote with the "You miss 100% of the shots you don't take."
Two Wayne
Michael
Gretzky
Scott.
quotes.
Wayne
Michael
Gretzky.
Jordan? Oh, yeah. But it's Michael Jordan, right? But he quotes it wrong.
No, it's Wayne Gretzky, but Michael Scott then quotes it.
Oh,
he quoted. Yeah. Anyway,
That's
Got
awesome.
it.
All right. Well, thanks, George, for being on. Subscribe. We're on all major platforms, so you can go subscribe, comment, share this with your friends. We're trying to put out, some stuff that'll be useful for anybody in the SMB space and kind of the inventory space. And so, anyways, we will see you next week. Thanks, guys.
thank you.
Thanks for having me.